So one of the interesting qualities about Japanese cuisine is the diversity of it. A typical Japanese who are not so particular about what they eat, who are not gourmands, they do actually make a fuss about having diversity of food in front of them. For example, if you had rice for breakfast, they may go for noodles at lunch, and then they might have Chinese food for dinner. And on the next day, if you go to lunch and with your colleagues and so on, and they would ask you, what would you like to eat? And well, I don't know. But wait a minute, I had Chinese food last night, so maybe I'll go for an Italian food. And you go to an Italian place and have pizza and so on. Then, on that evening, if you go out with your friends, you would say, hey, I have had Chinese food and Italian food, so probably I would like Indian food, and you go to an Indian place. This kind of calculation, this kind of balancing act of dietary needs is something that is so typical for a Japanese person. Even without knowing it, a typical Japanese would try to balance what they eat, in a really diverse way. When I go to the United States, I see that this kind of attitude is not present. Every morning you eat everything. That is kind of a regular menu. When I went to Chicago for the Society for Neuroscience meeting last year, every morning I went to a diner and I had this American breakfast thing, sausage, bacon, and toast, and eggs, scrambled eggs, and sunny side up, and that was the variation that I could get. Although I liked the food, I really missed starting the day with bowl of rice or even with ramen. At some locations in Japan, people talk about asara, which literally means breakfast ramen. So you can actually start the day with a bowl of ramen noodles. That's possible. Or with sushi, many people go to the fish market and have sushi for breakfast. So, this idea of diversity, always trying to strive for diversity, I think is very typical of the Japanese food custom. And probably that's one of the reasons why Japanese have a long, healthy life. So as somebody who is based in Tokyo, food diversity comes so naturally to me. Although I'm not so sure about ethnic diversity in this country. I think the Japanese are still working on it.